At it again, and Joe Rogan had The Rock on his famous podcast, and there's a couple clips that I want to discuss with you guys from that conversation. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new, and let's dive in.
Reading stuff and believing.
Yeah, well, it was when I was a kid. You could have a Republican friend. Like, it was no big deal.
Yes.
It's no big deal. Like, oh, Bobby likes George Bush. Who cares? Who gives a f***? You know, you were a supporter of Bill Clinton. He liked George Bush. Nobody cared. Nobody like, f*** you. You know, it wasn't like, you're a Nazi. Like, I'm a Nazi. I just want lower taxes.
That's what the f*** are you talking about?
How did I become a Nazi?
Dude, it's the craziest thing. I have friends who support Trump. I have friends who support Biden. I have friends.
Do you really have friends who support Biden?
I do.
Come on.
No. Here's what I do. I have friends. Thank you. That's a good check because that's important. This is important context.
They support the Democratic Party.
I have friends who are loyal to the party.
Yes, and they're the progressive.
Right.
Yes.
Loyal to the party.
Yeah.
Support Trump. I have friends who are like, F it, I'm not voting for either one. Last election, this election. But it's that kind of thing that I would love to see us get to that place where it's okay.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, you vote for that person, no problem.
People should be able to have discussions about the differing opinions and not turn it into just some crazy insult fest, which is what you see online. And you see it all the time. You see it online even with political commentators. They get in these interview sessions and start yelling and screaming at each other. It's like... It's stupid. It's bad for you, too. It's bad for the people that are engaging in it. It's bad for everybody who's listening.
Well, so, yeah, and it's unhealthy. Not only unhealthy for yourself, but also just in terms of humanity, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's bad for humanity.
Yeah.
So I 100% agree. It is terrible. But the problem is that Democrats know and understand that their stances don't hold up to debate. Which is why I think they do revert to the name calling and the yelling and the screaming. And it's why I used to say when the facts come out, they run. Because along this journey, that's something that kept happening. Whenever, a Republican, would come up against a Democrat and there would be questions asked out on the streets and, a Democrat would start hearing some facts, it would always resort to name calling and the person would storm off. And that to me indicated, well, you don't have an argument. Your stance cannot hold up to any type of scrutiny because you can't back it with anything. There's nothing backing it. Listen, I don't think that, either side should hate the other side, right? I'm not for that. But I do think we should be having debates. I do think we should be having, I would love it if, there was a TV show, right, that was nationally televised where Republicans debated Democrats. I would love to see it. I'd volunteer to be a moderator on the show. I would genuinely love something like that. I think that would be extremely entertaining. Just watching some debates. It doesn't even have to be necessarily political debates all the time. It could be, something else. We could debate about a different topic of discussion, But I would love to have some debates on a national stage that are nationally televised to all of America, right? I think that would be exciting TV, interesting TV. The problem is that, a lot of folks have become too crazy in this world. And it's mostly Democrats. 90% of it, not even 90% of it, 95% of it is Democrats. There are some Republicans who have gone off the deep end. I won't even name names, but because of course you're always going to have outliers in a group of individuals. Yes, that's just the way it goes. You will always have outliers. And the Democrats try to point to the Republican outliers and say that's all Republicans. And it's like, no, those are just the outliers. Stop it with the nonsense. But mostly your entire group is what our outliers are. So what are we talking about here? You got one instance of, Republicans doing something terrible, but I have many instances of Democrats doing something terrible, including recently, which we'll get into here shortly after I show you guys this next clip. But I just wanted to highlight that because I thought that was, great right there, what he said. But, Also, something that I find interesting with the Democrat Party. Not only do they not stand for anything, I mean, they're always flip-flopping and moving. They go where the wind blows, right? We've seen that time and time again. Even the current situation, they go where the wind blows. They don't stand for anything. And their arguments definitely don't stand up to any type of debates. And, you know, the Democrats have gotten so desperate that they recruited this guy.
They've talked about you being president.
Dude, I know.
I remember at one point in time, it was like they were saying it should be The Rock and Oprah. They should be president and vice president.
Dude, so one of the parties came to visit me.
Oh, no.
At the end of last year.
Democrats?
Asking for me to run.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, it was...
For president?
For president.
Wow.
It was, first of all, incredibly surreal.
Right.
Because I was the guy... you know, who was wrestling in flea markets years ago, looking for free corn dogs and hot dogs, selling my headshots for $5, trying to make money. And then all of a sudden I'm having that conversation. But no, it was just incredibly surreal and so wild, but also so incredible that they had all this data that they had said, if this happens, here's the result. And,
wow.
and it was really deep. And then I started to think, again, surreal. Because that's never been my goal, right? I appreciate it, and I'm honored, right? Because I'm like you in here, in our core, right? But it made me think. It's either this is an incredible thing, and I got some pretty decent leadership skills, or things are so fucked up.
They're turning into the pro wrestling movie star. They're trying to run the world.
Man.
Democrats know what's coming. Last year, they tried to recruit The Rock to defeat Trump. Not as a senator, not as a congressman, for president. They tried to go after The Rock. Now, this is just me making an assumption that it wasn't the Republican Party. We can all pretty much guess which party that was. In my humble opinion, it was definitely the Democrats. I mean, their party is absolutely crumbling before their very eyes. I mean, they've got They've got problems all over the place, you know, in the Democrat Party. And as you guys just heard there, that clip that I'm about to play next, I guess she couldn't wait to speak. We also have some problems with Democrats in the Republican Party, like this woman.
What happens? He comes out of the gate, he hits the female chair of the party, he hits the female anchor on the platform, and then he hits me. And I'm not saying anything.
I ain't saying, I'm just saying.
But he might have a girl problem.
She's talking about Vivek. But yeah, we've also got some issues in the Republican Party with Democrats impersonating being a Republican. So we've got our fair share. We've got some issues too, but Democrats are far and above where we are. Like,
thank you, police officers that are here watching us as we go back. Yet it is unfortunate that we need to get a police escort back, as people were screaming such anti-Semitic things and throwing rocks on the window of the Memorial Union during the meeting. Alida.
So Democrat leftists have a problem with Jews apparently, and was throwing rocks and things at them as they were trying to get out of there, and they had to be escorted away. That's absolutely disgusting behavior. Absolutely disgusting behavior. And had that been Republicans doing that, it'd be a national issue. It'd be on all the airwaves. We have a domestic terrorist issue in America, blah, 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 blah. But because it's Democrats actually doing it, how much airtime do you think a clip like that or a clip like this is going to get? Yeah, for those of you that haven't heard, there was an insurrection by some Democrats at the DNC headquarters. They were outside the building rioting. and yelling and screaming, allegedly trying to break in. I haven't seen the clip exactly, but I have seen some wild stuff, some wild clips that I'm not going to show here today for obvious reasons. YouTube don't really like a whole lot of violence, and there's some pushing and shoving and dragging of some people in some of the clips that I've seen. But yeah, that was in DC, all because of Democrats, not Republicans. But if that did happen because of Republicans, it'd be all over the news. But how much airtime do you think the clip that I just showed you and the clip of the guy there who was being escorted by police, how much airtime do you think those are going to get? Yeah, virtually none. The only people that are going to air it are folks like me. That's it. That is it. They will be totally silent on that issue because they are crumbling. They are crumbling so bad that they tried to recruit The Rock to run for president. Goodness gracious. Which is why I think they've part of me, I should say, feels like it's why they've kind of doubled down on Biden. I think it's a multitude of reasons, but this is one of them. They tried to recruit The Rock. He wasn't with it. They tried to recruit Michelle. She wasn't with it. The only person that stood up and said, yeah, I'll do it, is Gavin. And they have a problem with Gavin because he's a straight white male, which the monster that they created says or believes that straight white men are terrible people. And who's second in line right now? A black woman. Not gonna happen. She's got 2 Infinity Stones. She's black and she's a woman, right? According to the left, she's got 2 Infinity Stones. Gavin Newsom has none. So if you usher in Gavin Newsom over Kamala, it's gonna look real terrible to your base. So how are you going to get around that? Well, you can't really. You're just gonna have to run Biden all over again, and I'm sure Biden don't want to leave either. So you've got no choice. You couldn't get The Rock and you couldn't get Michelle, so now you're stuck. But that's what they are. Somebody who's never been in politics, who's been an well, I guess Trump has never been in politics, so I can't really criticize that too much. But, like, really? Oh, goodness gracious, man. That is hilarious. Hey, The Rock, can you run? Look at all the stats we have. Look, see, if this happens here, if we put this money here, this is what's gonna happen. See, your poll numbers should rise to this level. Oh man, goodness gracious. What a clown show, right? They called Republicans a clown show when we were voting for Speaker of the House because we didn't like the Speaker of the House that we had. But they believe in democracy, which you believe in democracy, but you don't believe in people voting. Anyway, y'all let me know what you thought about all of this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.